Hey everyone. I was just putting away some items from the CSA, and I had the desire to like turn on the camera and just try to make a short video about how I like think through what I get in a box at a CSA. And for those that don't know, a CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and it's a box I get from a local farm to supplement produce from my own garden and what I get at the store. So I don't have enough space to grow all of my own food. And quite honestly, I am a big supporter of community, and like you don't have to. So, I mean, you can if that's your goal, and that's awesome and a worthy goal. But I love the idea of that I can focus on the things that I really love growing, and then other people can be really good at what they're doing. Plus, I'm still pretty new. I'd say this is probably my 5th year gardening, or I guess 5 or 6. It's hard to tell. It's like, what do you count? I guess I should also count the time I was in my apartment growing some stuff in pots too. So, but yeah, so I think part of the concern too is with CSA that you may not know what to do with all of it. Granted, so this is I get a small share because it's me, and then sometimes, my partner, and maybe some friends. But between that and my garden and anything else that I grab at the grocery store, it's more than enough food for me. And I still preserve stuff because it's more than I can eat fresh. Yeah, I'll just go through what I got, and I will let you know what I'm thinking about doing with it. Yeah, excuse the like very impromptu, I didn't clean up at all. So here is my for real kitchen. Okay, I'll let you know what I got. We got a little bit of a mess here because I already started processing and was like, hey, why don't you take your camera out? And you got my tea over there. Always love processing when I am drinking tea or coffee. It's a little late in the day for me to drink coffee, so here we are, having some dandelion chai, which is really nice. So what we got 3 cucumbers. These ones I'm going to eat probably fresh, or maybe make cucumber salads from. I also thought about making some like pita pockets with I can't have dairy, so I'll have like a vegan tzatziki with some cucumbers, and I have some tomatoes as well. Oh, I didn't pull out the tomatoes. I'll show you those in the next, I guess it's not really a slide, the next shot. So I'm going to bag these up and put these in the fridge since I will grow them. I will eat them fresh since there's 3. I can leave them on the counter. They would be fine, but they will last longer in the fridge. And I will put them in a plastic bag to keep like the humidity levels so that they don't dry out. I'll just keep them in the plastic bag, and I'll just put them in my crisper drawer. I'm going to store these eggplants much the same. I'm going to, I got these actually I got this as an add-on because I haven't had eggplant this summer yet, and I really love baba ganoush. Baba ganoush. There you go. I think that's how you say it. So I'm going to make that. It freezes really well too, so I'll make a bunch, and it'll really go well with my pita pockets. It also is just really great dipped with, like, you dip bread in it, you can dip tortillas in it. So I'm going to set these over to the side, but I will also store these similarly in a plastic bag in the crisper drawer. All right, so these actually didn't come in my CSA. This was a wonderful gift for the vendor that the shop now is opening up their own shop, is Max Degrees. Their shop is like a spice shop, but it's more than spices. It's spices and jams and chutneys and pestos and all kinds of stuff. Hot sauce, I don't know hot sauces. I know they have shrubs and stuff like that. They have a lot of stuff. They're great. So they were making stuff with black garlic, so they gave me 2 of these because they're great, and pine nuts because I was talking about how expensive pine nuts were, and they had some, so they gave me some. How kind. So I think tonight's dinner is going to be a black garlic pesto from basil from the garden with some sourdough I got from the I think it's Twin Oaks Bakery through the CSA. So I am very stoked for that. Yay. All right, so cantaloupe, I'm a huge fan of them when they're fresh, when you can smell them. When, like right now, I wish it could be smell-o-vision right now. I feel like you can't see me. I'm gonna try to finagle away so you can see me as I talk about stuff and not just point at things. Okay, I don't know if this is better. You can see me now. Hey. So cantaloupe, I love them in season. You smell them. That's when I know they're ready for me to eat. So if you see me in the grocery store just like smelling all these cantaloupe, that's what I'm trying to do. And this one is ready. This will probably be part of it, will be my dessert and breakfasts in the coming, probably tonight. I will house this cantaloupe. One time not one time. I was gonna say one time I ate a whole one for breakfast. I was like, it's not been one time. So fresh eating, this will be my fruit. I also got some pears. I didn't bring these over. Got some pears and I got a whole thing. Oh, why didn't I bring that over either? Tomatoes. Some cherry tomatoes. So these ones, I will likely do something with them, but also I just love eating them just right. Oh my God. So good. Love eating them just as snacks, but they're really great to cut up and made it for like a bruschetta. Bruschetta. I don't know what camp you're in. I go back and forth on how I say it, so. But yeah, so obviously tomatoes are great in so many different things. You can do a salsa in them. I think because they're so small, I have a hard time with them. But if you they are very sweet. They tend to be sweeter. So yeah, I really like them as a bruschetta and for snacking. All right, for other veggies, I just dug my nail in one, dang it. 3 zucchini. So the small one right here, probably I might chop this up and put it in my pesto for my dinner. Not in my pesto, but in my dinner with the pasta and everything with the pesto on top of it. We'll probably do that with the smaller ones. The bigger ones, this one might be still okay for stir fries and things like this. This one is pretty big. It still would work. It's just going to be a little bit more like pithy, or what is the word for it? It's just like tends to be a little bit tougher when they get bigger. These are really great. This or larger is really good for zucchini bread. So I could make zucchini bread. I might do that. Or if I'm not ready to make zucchini bread now, I will grate that whole zucchini, measure I would say it's probably about 2 cups, maybe a little bit more. I put them in bags of 2 cups and freeze them flat in the freezer. And that way, anytime after zucchini season has gone, but like passed, then I can have zucchini bread. I can just pull it out. I love freezing stuff for desserts or like things in the future because I don't know, especially for like if I get invited to like some party or something like that, and I know like a couple of days before that I should bring something or I would like to bring something, and then I don't really know what to bring, and then I'm like, oh, what's in the freezer? Oh, I have a ton of zucchini bread I can make, and like how can I make that fancy or cool, and there's some chocolate chips in there, or just have regular zucchini bread. In that same vein, I am currently, when I was thinking of y'all, slicing up some peaches to freeze. Now when you freeze peaches, I don't care too much on how like bright the peach looks when I cook it, because often when I cook peaches, they're darker anyway, and they're usually in a pie or a crumble or something with stuff on top of it. But if you like really care and you're wanting to use it for like a tart or something where you want it to look very like preserve its color and not get like a darker color, sometimes a brownish color because it oxidizes, you can squeeze some lemon or some citrus over on top. I would recommend lemon, or grapefruit could be cool too, actually, if you happen to have a grapefruit. But some lemon juice, that helps preserve some of the color. But again, I don't really do that. It's another ingredient, another step. I kind of just don't care. So I will slice these up, and you can I don't find that they're terribly hard to get up off this nonstick, but you can put parchment paper down, and I just put them in a single row, like, not row, column, whatever. So I just put them all on the plate flat and put them in the freezer until freeze, and then I will put them in a plastic bag. I do that instead of just throwing them all in a plastic bag, because if you put them all in a plastic bag, they'll just freeze into one big mass. So just put them all on a sheet, and then they'll freeze separately. So it's a lot easier if you don't need the entire bag for your recipe. So we'll do that. And then we have a couple more things. So I got 3 red onions. They're on my counter right now, drying, because they were likely washed, because all the produce is washed before it comes to us. Although it is always a good idea to still wash it before you eat it. This is an organic farm, but still, bugs, things, stuff I don't want to eat. But I'm going to let this dry out before I put it in my storage area, because if it has moisture on it and you're just trying to store it, it can mold way faster and will probably rot. So don't want that. Onions, I'm going to just use in my everyday cooking. That I do not have an issue using up onions. Some ideas though, if you have a plethora of onions and you don't know what to do with it, there's a couple different things that I like doing. If I have the time, like if I have a kitchen day, I will take these onions like it can be all of the same onion, it doesn't have to be. They are really good if it's like Vidalia onions or sweet onions, yellow onions. But I'll just like chop them up, and then I'll just like go ahead and I caramelize a bunch of them at the same time. Caramelization does take some time, but if I'm in the kitchen anyway, I'll just have that going. And then what I love is you can freeze that kind of like you would with the peaches, like all single, and then just put them in a bag. And then you have caramelized onions on hand. They're also just wonderful to have in the fridge. Like if you want a bit on the fridge, you can put it on top of stuff. Like I keep thinking of fall things like sweet potatoes. You can put caramelized onions on that. Love caramelized onions. You can also just freeze them. You can go ahead and just freeze them so you can use them in stir fries and things. They will lose their crunchiness, but if you're going to put them in stir fry and cook them anyway, why not? And lastly, if you have a dehydrator, unfortunately, my dehydrator kicked the bucket this year. So in the middle of summer, well, actually quite in the beginning, which I haven't had the ability to get my a new one yet. So if y'all have a lead on that, let me know. But you can dehydrate onions, and then when you dehydrate them, you can put them in like a blender or food processor, or if you have a spice grinder, and then you can make onion powder from it, which is pretty awesome. I have never gotten to the point that I have too many onions that I make onion powder. I just love onions, so. Okay, so last things that I got fish peppers. These were add-ons as well. I got fish peppers. And what I mean by add-ons is that, if you don't already know, the CSA boxes, some places, like I get my CSA through Moon Valley Farm, and they are organic. They work with a lot of other farms as well and other vendors. So you can get stuff like bread and peppers. Well, peppers are from their farm, I believe, and fruit and all kinds of stuff. So it's really, really cool. I love it. I love them a lot. I've been part of their CSA for a long time. Women owned, so yay. Anyway, so I got add-ons. So add-ons, in addition to my weekly box, I decided to add on peppers. Then I forgot about my dehydrator not working. So these are Sugar Rush peach peppers. I actually haven't tried these. I've heard a lot of really good things about them. So I was planning on dehydrating them and creating like a little sprinkle. I actually talked to a friend that mentioned that was a great way to use them. I've heard they're good in salsas. They are hotter, but I think they're in between, from what I understand. Again, haven't tried them. A jalapeno and a habanero. Not quite as hot as a habanero, but not quite as cool as a jalapeno. So I did find on the internet that apparently you can potentially use an air fryer as a dehydrator. So I'm going to try that out and I will let you guys know how it goes, if it's a no or if it's a yes. So, because I would like to use this, and I know I can make a hot sauce or stuff like that. I just don't know if I would use it as often. I thought about salsas too, but because of the heat level, I don't know if I would. I generally like jalapenos in my salsas or chipotles for this, smoked chipotles. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know. And fish peppers. So these ones I actually got because, well, I really like them too. I said jalapenos or chipotles in my salsa. Fish peppers and salsa, like salsas for like huevos rancheros, is so good. It's so good. But I actually also got fish peppers because my partner really, really loved a hot sauce that someone used to make locally, made from fish peppers. And I don't know, I was gonna look up a recipe and try to make some hot sauce for him. So, aren't I sweet? And if it's not good, then he will never see it. But yeah, that's basically what I have, and what I'm doing with everything. Let me know if you want more of these types of videos. And I'm gonna get to chopping. All right. Thanks for coming by, and still working on the sign off. All right. Have a great day. Talk to you later.